So Bob Saget died kind of out of nowhere. He looked like he had health issues. He was getting up there in age, but he wasn't there at the end. So it was kind of nuts because they say that Bob Saget's death from NBCnews.com is likely the result of a fall backwards, according to a Florida medical examiner. And then the family had said that he hit the back of his head, thought nothing of it, and then went to sleep. There were no drugs or alcohol involved. There was that clonazepam or whatever. He had some of that in his system. They also said that he had bone fragments in the back of his head, and then there was bone fragments around his eyes. But that he had a whole host of like blood going between his skull and his skin or something. He had a whole host of things that were going on. But it seems very suspicious to me. I immediately thought foul play whenever they say blunt force trauma. It's not that he had a whole bunch of enemies, but he is a celebrity, so. So the examiner, Joshua Stephanie, said that his death was an accident. There are no witnesses to the hours leading up to his death. Neurologists were unable to speculate. So they said that anytime there's a head injury, you should just check it out. Even if it's a small thing. If you just bumped your head, okay. But if you're in a car accident, you should go check it out. They said that sometimes it'll just feel like a terrible headache, and then they'll just think that it'll subside. But the headache just never subsides, and it gets worse and worse. A persistent or worsening headache, nausea, vomiting, all these are causes for concern. Also, a poor recollection of sustaining the injury. Loss of consciousness or droopiness in the face, paralysis in the arms or legs, difficulty walking, speaking, need to be looked at immediately. If this feels like the worst headache of your life, or anything that feels like a stroke-like symptom, it's better not to wait on that stuff. We've seen too often that people wait on those to get better. Get it checked out and make sure that you're safe. Untreated head trauma could turn fatal because of swelling that the skull doesn't have room to accommodate. If there's bleeding or swelling in the brain from a traumatic brain injury, that could lead to increased pressure in your head. The increased pressure affects your breathing, affects your heart rate. And then you can have a respiratory arrest phenomenon. They said if after a head trauma, don't go to sleep right afterwards. The reality is that the bleeding or swelling can progress over time, and that is usually over the first few hours, which is why it's important to monitor your symptoms for at least a few hours. Lying flat to go to sleep also elevates your head pressure slightly, so it's better to be upright immediately following the trauma. So, to me, it looks weird, suspicious. He's at a hotel room, right? So he's in Florida in a hotel room, bumped his head, and then fucking woke up dead. It's crazy, insane how shit could just happen like that. And we're being told that it was all accidental, and I guess you're always shocked by the damn thing, and so there must be some other explanation. That's the official version of events. He bumped his head. How did he get the fractures around his eye? He had a whole list of things that was ailments and whatnot. Anyways, R.I.P. Bob Saget. And yeah, if you think it's a concussion, go get a CAT scan. Go get it checked out. Don't play with a brain injury.